Hello students. Today we are going to start with the next topic of agency, which is the rights and the duties of an agent. So first we will be discussing the duties of an agent. So now agent has been appointed by the principal under a contract of agency, and as per the contract of agency, he is supposed to perform certain duties and he is supposed to fulfill duties given under the act. So one by one, first duty is to act according to directions of the principal. So he has been appointed by the principal and he is required to follow all the instructions, all the directions, all the rules and regulations which have been told to him by the principal when he was appointed. We'll do certain cases also under this. The first case is Lilly versus Doubleday. In this case, a principal appointed an agent, uh, and then he also instructed him that he should keep all the goods belonging to the principal in a warehouse, at a specific warehouse only. But the agent placed some goods at the same warehouse, and he also stored some of the goods at a different warehouse, which was also equally safe. But the goods kept in the second warehouse, where he was not instructed to keep, the goods got destroyed. There was no negligence of the agent, but because agent did not follow the instructions given by principal, despite not making any negligence, the loss was to be suffered by the agent himself, and principal will get the reimbursement of the loss because he did not fulfill this duty given under section 211. Second duty is under section 212, which is because he has been appointed by the principal to represent the principal before the third parties. So whenever he is performing the task of an agent, he is required to work with reasonable care and skill and due diligence. Like somebody is doing his own work, agent should also work on behalf of principal with the same care and skill. Duty under section 213 is that the principal, the agent, he must render the true accounts to the principal whenever he asks, or otherwise also on a regular interval. So accounts here means the full record of how many goods he has sold, to whom the goods were sold, what was the price which was recovered, etc., etc. The expenses that he has incurred, what is the commission which is due. So all the details about these accounts should be rendered by the agent to the principal. The duty under section 214 is that whenever there is a situation of emergency or necessity, he should try to communicate with the principal and seek his guidance or seek his instructions to move ahead. When it is normal circumstances are there, then it is okay. He can do on his own as per the instructions given. But when situation is that of emergency, he must try to communicate first and then start his task afterwards. Next duty, fifth duty under section 215 and 216 is duty not to deal on his own account. Now, agent has been appointed by the principal to represent the principal before the third parties, and now agent is dealing with the third parties. Like he may be purchasing goods from the third party for principal, or he may be selling goods of the principal to the third parties. In all these cases, he must be representing the principal only. He cannot be dealing on his own account. He cannot show that he is doing all these transactions for himself. He has to clearly indicate that he is doing all these transactions with those persons, those third parties, on behalf of the principal and as an agent. In case he does not do this, then principal will not be accountable for the acts of the agent. Sixth duty under section 218 is to pay all the sums received for the principal. Now he might be a selling agent, so he has sold certain goods to the third parties, to the customers. So whatever money he has recovered, it is his duty that he should hand over this money back to the principal. Although he can deduct his expenses, his commission, etc., as per the terms and conditions of the contract of agency, but he cannot retain that money. He has to pay the money back to principal because it belongs to the principal only. Then, duty not to earn secret profit. Now, whatever you are doing, on behalf of principal, and whatever profits are being earned, whatever sale proceeds are being received by the agent, he has to hand it over to the principal. And during these transactions, he cannot earn any profit secretly. That means whatever profit is being earned, they have to be informed to the principal and to be handed over to the principal. And if you maintain some secrets with you and you do not disclose certain profits that you have earned secretly, and the principal comes to know about it later on, he can even go on terminating your contract of agency. And in that case, he will also not be bound to pay you any commission, etc. So, like the same happened in this case mentioned, Armstrong versus Jackson. In Armstrong versus Jackson case, a person appointed a stockbroker to buy some shares for him. And that stockbroker, he sold some of his own personal shares to P. And he did not reveal this to the principal. And he also earned secret profits in this transaction. So in this case, that stockbroker, being an agent, he could have sold his own shares also, but he should have revealed this to the other person. And he did all this secretly, earning some secret profits also. And P later on came to know about this. So it was held that it is violation of this legal duty. And as a result, P can terminate the contract of agency. Next duty, eighth, is not to delegate authority. Now, agent is himself the delegate of the principal. The principal has delegated his power, his authority to the agent, and to ask him to buy or purchase goods, buy or sell goods on behalf of principal with the third parties. Now, it is his duty that he should be performing all those jobs himself. But in case the agent, instead of doing all those things himself, he delegates some of his authority, passes on some of his powers to somebody else, and appoints a sub agent. So that is not allowed. That is his duty not to delegate authority. But we have certain exceptions where, with the prior permission, the sub agent can be appointed. So we'll be discussing about this in the upcoming topic. Next duty under section 209 is duty in case a principal dies or principal is insane, becomes insane. So now principal has died, but your contract of agency was going on. So long as the other things are settled after the death of the principal by his legal successors, so long as the things are settled between these two parties, the agent is supposed to take care of the interest of the principal and not make any misuse of this situation. Next, 10th duty is not to set up adverse title against the principal. Not to set up adverse title against the principal means, this we have discussed already in bailment topic also, that agent should not speak wrong or negative about the defective title, defective ownership of the principal. Even if you are aware about the ownership rights of the principal to be adverse, to be defective, that he is not a true owner of the goods that he has given to you to sell to the third parties, still you should not set up that adverse title. It is your duty not to do this. Then the next duty is whatever information he has got in the course of agency operations, he should not be making misuse of that information against the principal, because some confidential information will have come to your notice because you were performing certain acts on behalf of principal. So you should not make wrong use of that information. So these are the duties of the agent. Moving further, rights of the agent. So besides these duties, agent also has been given many rights. The first right is right of retainer. Right of retainer is right to retain money that he has received on behalf of principal. Now agent has sold certain goods if he is selling agent, and he has recovered the sale proceeds from the third parties, from the customers also. Now he, out of that money received by the agent, he can retain the money. Out of that money he can retain these money, these amounts mentioned above. First of all, in case the principal has taken some advance from you in the beginning, so you can adjust that advance money out of those sale proceeds. Then agent has incurred some expenses. For working as an agent, he has to incur some expenses, so he can also deduct these expenses. Thirdly, he was supposed to receive some remuneration, some commission, etc. So he can deduct that remuneration amount also. So after deducting all these three amounts, the remainder money has to be given back to the principal. So that means these three heads he can retain with him, this much money he can retain with him. It is his legal right. Then his right under section 219 and 220. This is right to receive remuneration. Now, in the beginning of the chapter, in the essentials, we have done that agency contract may or may not have consideration. So, in case the agency contract was made subject to consideration, in that case, whatever consideration was agreed upon between the agent and the principal, he is entitled to receive that remuneration. In case it was without consideration contract, then agent cannot ask for any remuneration. But if it was agreed upon, then he is entitled for the remuneration provided these three conditions are fulfilled. The three conditions are: agent has completely undertaken all the jobs that he was asked to. Secondly, all the transactions that he has completed that were as a result of his own services only. And thirdly, he was not found guilty of any kind of misconduct. So, if all these three conditions are fulfilled, then he can ask for the remuneration, and the remuneration will have to be given to him by the principal. But in case he has done something wrong, that then his consideration can be cancelled also. Right of lien. Right of lien is also right of retainer, but right of lien is to retain the goods or any kind of account books which are belonging to the principal and are lying in the custody of the agent. So now agent has to recover certain amounts from the principal, like his expenses, his commission, etc., the advance that he has given. First of all, he could have adjusted this amount out of the sale proceeds that he has recovered. But what if, in case the customers have given a check for payment? Now he cannot deduct this amount from the check money because check will be in the name of principal. So he has to hand over the check to the principal. Now, what about recovery of his own dues? So in that case, in case the principal does not give you your expenses reimbursement, your advance money return, or the commission that is due towards you, in that case, the agent has a right that he can use lien, or he can retain the movable or the immovable property which is lying with the agent, which belongs to the principal, provided he had the possession of those properties or goods, or this possession was with you in the capacity of agent, and there were some lawfully due debt, amount from the principal. And fourthly, there was no agreement to the contrary. No agreement to the contrary means there was no such term and condition in the contract of agency which negates this right of lien. In case it was mentioned in the contract terms that in no situation can the agent use the right of lien, then you will not be able to use this right. The next right is under section 222, right to be indemnified against the consequences of lawful acts. Now, whatever instructions or directions were given by the principal to the agent is doing the task accordingly. But while doing all those lawful authorized acts, he suffered some losses or he has to incur some expenses. So obviously, all these expenses and losses incurred by the agent in the due course of agency, they have to be reimbursed to him by the principal. So the principal has the duty to indemnify your losses, and you have the right to get indemnified. Indemnified means your losses will be compensated. But in case you did certain acts which were lawful, but they turned out to be unlawful, so in that case also you will be able to recover the amount provided you were doing all those lawful things in good faith without notice that they will turn out to be unlawful. The next right is under section 225, right to be compensated for the losses due to principal's negligence. So in some situations, it so happens that principal did something wrong. He did something negligently, because of which the agent has to suffer some losses. So in that case, the agent has suffered losses because of negligence of principal. So these losses should also be compensated to the agent. So in this case also we'll cover this case of Adamson versus Jarvis, and already we have done this case in the first chapter, special contract of indemnity. So please refer to that once again for the same point. So with that we end with the topic of right and duties of the agent. Thank you.